Hello and welcome to this India Today special, where my guest today is the AIMIM MP and Chief Asaduddin Owaisi. Appreciate your joining us here, Mr. Owaisi. I want to start today with what Govind Dev Giri Maharaj, the treasurer of the Sri Ram Janmabhoomi Trust, has said. He has said the country's future should be good, and if we get these three temples, Ayodhya, Gyanvapi and Krishna Janmabhoomi, peacefully, we will forget about all other things. We will not look at any other temples if these three are freed. Your response?
No, that's an open threat. That's an open threat that if you don't agree to our threats or blackmail, then we will do what we have done on 6th of December. This is a call to violence. This is an open threat to the Muslim community, which is being made. I would call it a complete threat, so that the Muslims fall in line.
Now, how do you see it as a threat? He's saying that we want to settle these peacefully. If the Muslims hand over these three places of worship, there will be no more issues again raised of temples and mosques.
First of all, these people lie through their teeth. They are perpetual liars. What did they went and told the Supreme Court? That we will not touch the Babri Masjid. They went and demolished it. When the Babri Masjid decision came, everyone said that okay, it's over, finish. So the fact of the matter is that this will not end. And I have been saying this consistently since the judgment of the Supreme Court, which was unfortunately given on the basis of faith, which opened what I call floodgates for all these things to be controversies to come up. Now, who is he to tell us to give it to you? Why did we pass a 1991 Place of Worship Act in the Parliament, which is still a law? So this is nothing but this is just a threat to everyone that this is what we want, you should give it to us. See, this is a crass example of Hindutva and majoritarian politics.
No, you're saying it's an example of Hindutva and majoritarian politics, but let's look at the law. At the end of the day, you just mentioned the 1991 Place of Worship Act. We've seen on the 31st of January, a district court in Allahabad, in district court in Varanasi, allowing prayers to take place in the southern cellar of the Gyanvapi mosque. And the ASI report, which has now come out, suggests that there was a Hindu structure that exists beneath the present mosque. So the prayers are being allowed. Effectively, the prayers have now been allowed in the southern cellar of the mosque. So where does the Place of Worship Act stand? Let's look at very clearly the law itself. Effectively, now the floodgates have already been opened again.
Yes, so that is why I have said the Babri Masjid title suit judgment was responsible for opening up all these floodgates. Number one. Number two is that, have you read the 31st of January's order?
Yes.
So the Honorable Judge was retiring on that day. He is no more a judge now. He gives what Rajdeep Sardesai had said, what Asaduddin Owaisi has said. And then in the last he says, I am of the opinion that the puja should be allowed, without even giving any legal reasoning for it. It is a completely wrong order. He should have stuck to the 1991 Place of Worship Act. He should have told that how is it that is allowing this after 1993. And then thirdly, please tell us that can worship be done? A puja can be done in a Taikhana?
Sir, the question is, you are going back to the 1991 Places of Worship Act,
yes,
which effectively says, except for the disputed site at Ayodhya, there will be the status quo maintained on all places of worship.
Yes.
Subsequent to that, you have a Supreme Court observation in May 2022, which says finding the nature of the religious place is not barred under the 1991 law. This is Supreme Court order. Based on that, the Gyanvapi mosque issue is taken forward. Now you've got a district court order. Are you willing to accept the rule of law? You can challenge the district court order in the Allahabad High Court, yes, in the Supreme Court. But as of today, prayers are being allowed. Puja, Aarti is being allowed.
That is a wrong order.
Which is the wrong order? Varanasi or the Supreme Court order?
The 31st order is the wrong order. And please understand, you talked about the ASI report. Now, in Babri Masjid, an excavation was done. Here a survey is done, right? There's a difference between excavation and survey. Now the excavation report was not accepted by Supreme Court, And the Supreme Court categorically stated that no temple was demolished to construct a masjid over there in Ayodhya. Here also, you are saying a survey has been done. A survey is different from an excavation. So we have categorically stated that no religious structure was demolished to construct a Gyanvapi masjid over there. Now, report is there. We'll challenge that report. No, but as far as the Supreme Court quotation you have said,
yes,
please understand it was the 5 judges bench, which included the present CGI,
yes,
which said that the 1991 Place of Worship Act is elevated to the status of basic structure of our constitution. The most unfortunate part is the lower courts and the judiciary are not accepting what the Supreme Court has said.
So are you prepared therefore for yet another prolonged legal fight on the Gyanvapi mosque, or are you willing to maybe consider the possibility of some kind of a settlement that is reached?
Rajdeep, I remember doing this interview with you after the judgment had come, before the judgment of Ram Mandir had come. You said, are you willing to give away Ram Mandir and forget about everything? Now, this is the second time you're saying this to me. So I am of the opinion, I'm telling you categorically, this will not end, this will not stop. We will fight it legally, and we will show the courts what documents, what title suits we have, what possession we have. And please understand, in Gyanvapi, we have been offering namaz. The earlier argument in Babri Masjid was, oh, you are not praying over there. Here we are praying continuously. Now, since 1993, no puja was done. Now, people are telling you and me, oh, no, your namaz is going on. Boss, how is it possible, please tell me, that I enter your house? I said, yeah, you can have 5 rooms, 2 rooms I'll use. What is that?
If inscriptions, if evidence is found that a Hindu structure exists below where the mosque exists, will you accept that or not?
If tomorrow we start digging Rashtrapati Bhavan, we are bound to find something. So, are you going to say?
Mr. Owaisi, you are making an ODS comparison.
No, I am not. I am telling you seriously. I am telling you seriously. Now, you will find anything down there, and you'll say, okay, this is this. How is it possible? How is it possible? I am doing my namaz over there from years and years and years, hundreds of years. And please tell me it was Mr. Narendra Modi who constructed this massive corridor, who constructed this massive Kashi Mandir.
Kashi Vishwanath
corridor. And in fact, he renovated the Mandir as well. Now you have people over here who come and say this.
My point, Mr. Owaisi, is do you therefore believe that there is no space for reconciliation on these contentious issues? I say this because interestingly the IUML, the Indian Union Muslim League President, Mr. Thangal said yesterday only, there is no need to protest against Ram Mandir as both the new temple and the proposed mosque represent secularism and would strengthen secularism in the country. So there is one view now emerging that many of these issues can be settled amicably.
You are twisting what Thangal has said. The Thangal spoke about Ram Mandir.
Yes. The
Thangal has not spoken about Gyanvapi or Mathura. And I am not sitting here as a spokesperson of Thangal. The IUML people are qualified enough to say what he had said and to explain. But as far as I am concerned, we are not going to give any masjid. Enough. We will not give, and understand.
We will not give any masjid as per the law of the land, as per place of worship 1991, which, Mr. Owaisi, I can tell you, the new government, if it comes to power in the next parliament, can all change the law.
We will fight in courts of law. If the other side wants to do a 6th of December, we will see what happens. But we have been deceived once, we will not be deceived again. Simple as that.
So basically what you are saying is, as far as you are concerned, you have faith in the rule of law, you have faith in the courts, you disapprove of the order passed by the Varanasi District Court, which you believe is ultra vires the Places of Worship Act, but you remain adamant that no masjid will be given through any process of any kind of settlement.
My request is that Article 32 due process should be followed. Simple as that. I have said this in Parliament, I am reiterating it over here, that as far as Muslims are concerned, we have no confidence left in our Prime Minister. Because the Prime Minister is discharging his constitutional duty only for one particular ideology, one particular system. And that is what we are saying. We want the due process to be followed. Why isn't this ruling party talking about 1991 Places of Worship Act? It is an act which is passed by the parliament, which is still a law. You have a ruling party who never utters a single word.
The fact, Mr. Owaisi, is that perhaps the present BJP does not accept the Places of Worship Act as it stands today and would like that act to be amended.
No.
But what my point, Mr. Owaisi, is quite simply, just a minute.
I want to stop you here, please. You might not like it, but it is an act which has been passed by the parliament. The executive is duty bound to accept a law.
Yes, the fact though also, Mr. Owaisi, though, is if extreme hardline positions are taken, you're heading for another confrontation and you're again ensuring only religious polarization. 1 minute, there is a view that there is a view that both Mr. Owaisi and the BJP would like this religious polarization ahead of the elections, want these issues to keep bubbling, whether it's Gyanvapi one day, whether it's Krishna Janmabhoomi the other, whether it was Ayodhya earlier, because it suits your politics.
No, you want a gun to be pointed at my head and telling me that you surrender. Give it. Who's doing this?
I'm not saying surrender, I'm talking about reconciliation.
No, it's not that is a very good word to not to use surrender or reconciliation. What reconciliation? I have been using that masjid for more than 400 years, doing my namaz over there. And just because someone says, oh, it is not yours, should I give it to them? Who's asking confrontation? You talk about confrontation. What about Mathura? Do you know in Mathura, an historic agreement was signed between the Muslim and the Hindu side? The Muslims gave away 8 acres of land in 1965, 66. A court-monitored agreement. And you know who signed on that agreement? Madan Mohan Malviya signed on that agreement, and you still open it up into 2023. 8 acres of land, Muslim land, was given to the Hindu side. From 1960s onwards, everything was peaceful. Who's opening it? Who's asking for what you say confrontation? Who's pointing a gun at my head and saying, "Oh, give it up"? What is this? You know, it is going on peacefully, and now you come and say, "No, we believe." Arey bhai, do you want to run this country on your belief or on the constitution? And how is it that your belief is more important than my belief or your belief or even people who don't believe in any God? That is not possible.
Can I though ask you, as we are ending this Lok Sabha session and going into another Lok Sabha election, do you fear or do you see religious polarization only widening in the next few months? Given what we've heard over the battles now taking place over Gyanvapi, possibly over Krishna Janmabhoomi, the kind of statements being made, do you fear that the genie is out of the bottle and over the next few months there will be more instances of religious polarization?
This is happening more from 2014 onwards.
Will it get worse?
No. Will it get worse? Maybe, yes. Starting from Akhlaq, the Prime Minister has become the Prime Priest. He is the Prime Priest now. The Prime Minister is, January 22nd, the BJP calls historic day, but that historic day foundation was laid on 6th of December. That historic day foundation was laid by Mr. Nair, who was the then DM of Faizabad, who later on became the MP of Jansangh, who allowed Babri Masjid to be closed, Puja to be allowed.
You don't accept that January 22nd is the first step towards correcting certain historical grievances that have existed and thereby represent, in a way, coming to terms with the
What
past?
historic grievances were there? No mandir was demolished. No mandir was demolished where Babri Masjid stood.
That's your view.
No. It is Supreme Court who said this, not yours or mine. It is the Supreme Court who said this. They discarded the report of ASI. They talked about non-retrogression. Where do you want to... You talk about 500 years. What about when the Jains were ruling India? What about when Buddhism was the main religion of that India, say 3,000 years ago? What about Shaivism? We got independence on 15th August 1947, period. Baba Sahib Ambedkar gave us a constitution which said everyone is equal. Equality is a fundamental right. He talked about liberty, equality, fraternity, justice. You want to go back 2,000 years ago?
So effectively you're saying as I conclude, that the Places of Worship Act 1991 is your mantra. You believe it's a basic structure of the Constitution, as the Supreme Court has said, and therefore any demands or any legal battles will be fought within the realm of that Places of Worship Act, whether it's Kashi, whether it's Mathura tomorrow. Am I correct?
I am of the opinion that Mr. Modi wants 1990 period to be repeated in India. Mr. Modi and his party wants India of 1990 in 2024 onwards.
Mr. Modi is speaking of a Viksit Bharat.
What Viksit Bharat he's talking about?
He's speaking about Amrit Kal in 2047.
Well, see, these are all very good things to be said. But actually on the ground, what is happening? A 600-year-old masjid in Mehroli, without any legal notice, was demolished. 600-year-old masjid, where there was no such controversy was there. 600-year-old masjid was just demolished for no reason whatsoever. What kind of Viksit Bharat are you talking about? What kind of Viksit Bharat are you talking about, you see? Hate speeches are being day in, day out. You don't take an action. The Supreme Court had to intervene and say, book an FIR. You know, there's a video out in Gujarat wherein 5 people stand up and say, we'll cut the tongue of Asaduddin Owaisi. Those buggers were not Maulana Salman Azhari, so they were not arrested.
But you are very clear, whether it's a Muslim cleric or anyone from the Hindu side, anyone who resorts to hate speech must be put behind bars.
The rule of the law should prevail, but unfortunately, wherever BJP finds it convenient, they talk about hate speech. BJP turns a blind eye, they become deaf and dumb when someone says this thing from there who believes in the ideology. BJP doesn't do anything to them. Look at them, they're roaming around freely. Is anyone touching them?
Let me leave it there, Asaduddin Owaisi. You made your point of view clear. I appreciate you joining us. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Asaduddin Owaisi giving us his view on Gyanvapi and more. Thanks for watching.